Hello, welcome to Media's Careers Podcast.
Hey guys, and welcome back to MCP, also known as Media's Careers Podcast. My name is Zainab, and I'm your presenter for today. This week we'll be joined by a special guest, Taya Musa. Taya is a successful social media manager working for Thrive Talents. She's going to highlight to us her experience and thoughts whilst working within this industry. Hi Taya, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to be with us today. Feel free to call me Zay. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. I've just been working, so I'm a bit tired, but apart from that, I'm good. How about you?
That's excellent. I'm good as well. So just before we start, I just want to thank you again for taking the time out of your day to be with us, as I know you just said that you're feeling tired and busy, and I know it must be busy being a manager within this industry. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So today we're just going to have a casual conversation. I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and hopefully your answers will teach us something new and about the media industry and starting a career. So let's get right into it. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Just generally.
Just in general.
My name's Ty. A lot of people call me Tights for short. Not obviously at work, they call me Ty. I work at Thrive. It's a tech recruitment company.
Yeah.
And I manage the social media there.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Can you tell us about your role as a social media manager?
Yeah, so I can kind of tell you how it started and how it's now. So when I first joined Thrive, I came in as a digital marketing assistant.
Yeah.
And my company is a startup. So there's a lot of work to be done just because it's such a small amount of us. There's like 35 of us altogether, 40 max. So when I first came in, it was a lot of like different type of tasks. I was creating the content, scheduling the content, a lot of brainstorming, and also like understanding the brand. We done like when I joined, there was a new rebrand. So there was just so much work to be done. We had a new website. Before I started, no social media. So I came in quite like full force. But then from that, I gradually got promoted to social media manager.
How was that? Was that a good
I was really happy. It was an amazing feeling. Like, I feel like a lot of people, this is definitely like a known thing, especially for like Black women in the corporate world. I don't think like you see a lot of Black women or Black men in managerial positions. So it was definitely like a big accomplishment for me. But the roles kind of changed now, where I'm looking more on the data side and kind of understanding the analytics and more of the scheduling rather than creating the content.
So what one do you prefer? Do you prefer how you first started or being like a social media manager now?
Definitely now. I'm a type of person when I'm working, I like to just work and no one distracts me. I'm not the most talkative or like talking to people all the time. Whereas my role before, it was a lot of communication. I had to get a lot of content. Whereas my role now is more like I'm on my laptop and just focusing and just trying to understand. So for me, I prefer it. But for some people, I think they would have preferred the assistant role more.
Yeah. So what would you say was the most challenging thing you've come across during your career?
That's a hard question. I would say probably for my coming a manager would be just kind of getting into the pace of things and like understanding it's a bigger responsibility and that everything comes back to me. Like I feel like before it's like, okay, it's my manager, but now it's like it can't be that.
I'm the manager.
So it's my responsibility. So I think that's definitely like the most hardest thing for me, was just trying to like understand and handle my new responsibilities.
Yeah. So has being a social manager always been a part of your plan then, or did that just kind of happen?
No, so since before uni, I kind of knew I definitely wanted to get into social media and marketing. So for me, it was really like clear cut. Like I just and quite like it just felt everything really fell into place for me, to be fair. But it's kind of something I've known for a very long time that I wanted to be in and do.
So what made you want to go in that path? Like what influenced you? Like what was the reasons that you realized you wanted to be go into the social media industry?
I remember like before uni, I knew I wanted to go into business, but I just didn't know what business to go into. And then I saw marketing and it seemed fun. So I was like, okay, let me have some fun in uni. And but I enjoyed it. And then there was, I think, one like course which was more social media based.
Yeah.
Then I was like, yeah, this is definitely
For
what
you.
I want to go into.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So I understand that you studied marketing and advertising at Leicester. How has having a degree helped you within this industry?
So before this role, I had another marketing job. That was the first one I had, and it was like a really corporate finance company. And when I was applying for the role, like one of the most important things I think that got me in was my degree. Like that's what I would put it down to. I just feel like when you're leaving uni, that degree helps you the most when you're finding your first job, especially if you want it in that field. So I would say getting my first marketing job, that's when it's helped me the most.
So a degree definitely gave you an advantage then, by far.
For me, yeah, I think so. I feel like it's very hard though. A lot of some people say like their degree didn't help them. Like Kay, for example, she's in a completely different field. Yeah. Whereas for me, it helped me because I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I feel like it also depends on what degree you're doing as well. Like if you're doing, I don't know, but sometimes it doesn't help. It just depends.
So if you could go back in time, you would not take away having your degree. You'd rather continue with the degree. You wouldn't recommend like an apprenticeship or anything else. Obviously you can't speak from experience, but
yeah, I think it depends on what you want. It depends on your situation, your background. I feel like there's definitely things you have to take into account. Like I do feel like sometimes for some people you do need that degree. It does help you, but then there's some people that actually don't need the degree and can do apprenticeships. Me personally, I don't want to work. I didn't want to work for really low pay for a couple of years and move up. So that's why I don't. Yeah, like why am I doing that? But yeah, that's why I wouldn't. For me, it wasn't right for me. Degree was more right.
Yeah. Okay. So I learned that you used to do presenting on your old YouTube channel with your twin sister. Why did you stop pursuing that?
I definitely feel like it gets to this point where as I've gotten older, I just don't want to be online. Like, it's just I feel like social media back then is so different to social media now. And for me, it's just not for me. I don't want to be online only for work, and it's not my face, it's another brand, so I don't mind. But I feel like social media depends on what type of person you are. Some people love it, some people don't. I feel like before, when I was younger, I was very loud and outgoing and out there, and now I'm just opposite. Like I don't want to talk to anyone sometimes.
What made that change happen though? Like why did you?
Because the more I've done presenting, the more I've realised like I don't want to be doing this. Like I don't really want to be going up to people and asking them questions about them. Like to be fair, I didn't really care. So I just stopped caring. I fell out of love with it. My passion went almost. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. So if you could go back in time, what advice would you tell your younger self when you're choosing this career path?
I don't know. That's hard, that question. Just for this career path.
Within the media industry, doing your degree, anyone who's trying to get within like your position, what advice would you give them? Yeah.
I would definitely do something on the side. I feel like if I didn't do presenting, I wouldn't have been able to get the job, my first marketing job as well.
Yeah.
Because I've been able to use that as experience. When I've done presenting, I was able to edit, record, talk, you know. Yeah. So I've been able to use it, put it on my CV, and I feel like that helped so much. So do anything to get anything you can put on your CV, even if it's editing, recording, that's all skills. Yeah.
And what advice would you give someone following in your footsteps working within this industry?
If I would say you have to really care about yourself. You have to put yourself first, definitely. If you want something, just think about yourself and do it. Don't let other people or people you work with hold you back 100%. You've got to do what you've got to do to get to where you want to get. Sometimes you've got to be like brutal to get there, but a lot of people do it. You just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Just focus on yourself and where you see yourself as well.
Okay. Would you say that there's any particular skills that you had that made it easier getting within this career path?
Presenting, definitely. So like editing, doing like, I've done a lot of like creative designs, I'd say. So like just getting on like Adobe and Premiere Pro, like just apps, stuff people can use, I would say as well. Just skills.
Was there any other thing that you did other than presenting for people, that helped you within being a social media manager?
Not really, no. That was the main thing. I only done presenting. So no. And then the presenting and the degree, it looked like it just went quite well together. So
okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of your YouTube channel, how was that for you? Did you think you did a good job? Was it successful? Or did you just fall out of love of it and that's why you decided to completely stop it? Or did you feel like you were making progress within your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I definitely feel like we were making progress, a lot of progress. I think if we were still doing it now, we've made so much more progress, but it wasn't fun. It just wasn't fun anymore. Like, I think especially like, for me, is that talking and interviewing people. I think that's where I got to that point where it's just like, I'm just hearing a lot of words, but I'm not taking anything in. And I think that showed me and Kay, because I'd done it with my twin sister. Yeah. So we kind of just sat down and like spoke about it. We had like, it was really good when we were doing it. We had fun, but I think we just grew out of it. Like, we just didn't want to do it anymore.
So it was like both of you that fell out of love at the same time.
Yeah, it was weird because I remember the day we were like proper talking about it, and Kay was like to me, like, I don't want to do it. And I was like, Kay, I don't want to do it anymore either. Like, and for me, I feel like me and Kay were lucky in a sense that we stopped when we did, because we've been able to get like Kay's in a really good job as well. My only problem sometimes, like I know this is really negative, it's not meant to be, but sometimes I do believe that you might have a passion for something, you might love something, but it doesn't mean you're gonna do it. I feel like sometimes I think I turned into a realist, like, and I was just like, no, I just don't want to do it anymore. I know it's a really bad answer, but it's just the truth. Like, I don't do it anymore.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, what is this for? What is this for?
So basically we're interviewing loads of guests within the media industry, and we're just trying to basically get an idea of what it's like to work within a career and get a perspective from someone who's within the actual professional field, and just help guide ourselves in the path that we want to go into as well.
Oh, nice, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Cute.
Hey, so just a quick question. Listening to the conversation while sitting in this room, I love the energy and the conversation was amazing. Just a question that came to my mind is, do you have any advice for those people who want to go into this industry, and also kind of what's your aspiration for the future?
So advice, I would say, to go into the media industry.
Yeah, within the media industry.
Experience and LinkedIn. I've told you this as well, to be fair, sorry. But you need LinkedIn, definitely. It's more helpful than you think it is. I've met so many people on LinkedIn that's helped me. Even now when I don't know someone, I'll just message someone on LinkedIn.
And how do you like build connections with LinkedIn? Because I know some people don't even accept.
Yeah. So I would say when you request someone, always write a message. Make it really personal. Make it look like you message just them. Not make it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You message just them, and if you do, like 9 out of 10, they will reply back and they will accept. So before you request, always send a message. Like, even if it's something like, hey, how are you? Seen your page. You know a bit about this. I'd love to get some more knowledge on it. That's what I would do.
And how would you say that you got into using LinkedIn for within the industry, if that makes sense? Like, how did you start approaching using other platforms to get yourself into the industry? Like, so before this,
before this role, I wasn't using LinkedIn at all. Like, literally, I wasn't on it. I was on it just to apply for jobs. And then when I started this role, I started using it so much more. And it's because LinkedIn is one of the pages we manage, so I had to learn it. But I think you can just easily like start, but it's a lot easier if you've got a company, I would say. That's what I think. Or like if you write your uni on it, you can find loads of people from the same uni. Like I still find a lot of people from my uni and I just connect with them.
Yeah, that sounds really, really interesting. I mean, I myself had a lot of experience during this particular module was trying to connect to professionals to invite them in. So I can really, really vouch for the fact that LinkedIn is super, super helpful. Just one question that popped into my mind whilst Zainab is thinking is sort of what are you planning to do next? What's the next step, or where do you see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years?
So I definitely want to go into like more of a specialist role. So it would be like more of a social media specialist. So that is where I would ideally want to go, or eventually to like a brand manager. I know I definitely want to stay in marketing, but just only go higher, but definitely more of a specialist role. I feel like once you're a specialist, you can get a lot more money. So
can you explain to us a little bit about this specialist role that you're trying to get into, and just so that we can get a better understanding of it?
So it will just be, you see how I'm a manager now, it would just be like I'm a social media specialist, almost like an expert. So I could go into freelance work, eventually like have my own kind of, not business, but I don't work for someone else. But it would just be like literally knowing everything about social media, what platforms to use, when to use them, and like just everything about the data side of things. So just becoming more of a specialist.
And how do you plan to get to that role? Like, what are you going to do in order for you to get to that position?
Probably just a lot more, gaining a lot more experience. So I just need a good couple of years in a social media role. And in different roles, I can't just stay in, like, I'm obviously in recruitment now, but if I'm not getting experience in, let's just say fashion, I can't be a specialist because I haven't worked in fashion yet. So probably just getting more experience in different social media roles rather just staying in one.
And working at Thrive, obviously you've explained your role, but what does your company actually do? What is your company? Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, so we're a German tech recruitment company. So we're based in the UK, but we only recruit in Germany, and it's only tech positions as well.
Are they planning to expand, or is it just going to stay at Germany?
I'm not too sure now, not too sure yet. We're still quite a small company, but I reckon eventually, but I'm not sure. But Germany is quite popular in tech. It's a good market. So,
would you recommend a student? Let's say someone has graduated. Would you definitely recommend someone to join in Thrive as their first graduate job, or would you not?
Yeah, definitely. Thrive. I'm not gonna lie, for my jobs, it is the best. Like, there's so much diversity in Thrive. The actual company culture is so good. Everyone's like around the same age. Everyone is friends with everyone. It's just, I'm not gonna lie, it's one of my like favorite jobs. Like company culture wise, is up there. The one I had before, it was very corporate. So it came out kind of boring.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to work at Thrive, I would always say yeah, definitely.
And your previous job, what was more? So obviously, I know you prefer Thrive, but what did you like about your previous job, and how did that help you with Thrive? Did you use any of the skills from your previous job in Thrive?
No, because I went into a finance company, and they done traditional media, so they actually didn't use social media at all. It was all like newspapers and like a lot of online search. So I actually didn't. I was quick to learn that I did not want to work in finance at all. I just don't feel like there's any creativity at all. Like you're very limited in everything you do. It almost don't feel like marketing, to be honest.
So your degree, so as we've learned that your degree, you can go into so many different things, and you prefer the more practical, more creative side to it rather than the more finance and the
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I can tell that our listeners have found this very intriguing, I can say for sure that this has been an eye-opener for those that may want to become a social media manager or use marketing to their advantage, or just people who are just interested in the industry as a whole. If you guys would like to see more of Taye, follow her on her social media platforms. Would you like to promote some of your social media platforms?
Oh, just my LinkedIn, Taye Musa, Taiye, MUSA.
Perfect. Thank you guys for staying tuned for this episode of MCP. You know we never disappoint. Make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms, which we placed in the description box below. Finally, make sure you don't miss out on the next episodes and stay tuned.